Max Verstappen's future in Formula One is hanging by a thread, with mounting speculation that he might actually consider a sabbatical. As the F1 paddock continues to buzz with gossip, questions around the RB21's development and tempting offers from rivals like Mercedes and Aston Martin have added fuel to the fire. So, could Verstappen take the unconventional route and sit out a season? If that happens, how would it reshape the legacy of the four-time world champion? There's no denying it. Max Verstappen currently holds the most complex position in all of Formula One. The Red Bull star has publicly committed to seeing out his long-term contract, but the circumstances unfolding around him demand closer inspection. Red Bull's RB21 hasn't delivered the kind of dominance they're used to. Sure, there's an upgrade package expected at Imola, and optimism remains that it'll deliver a performance boost. But will it be enough to catch up to the resurgent McLaren team? That's the million-dollar question. The idea of Verstappen parting ways with Red Bull isn't as far-fetched as it once seemed. What we're witnessing is a performance struggle we haven't seen in years. Red Bull is having real trouble extracting peak performance from their machinery. And when we look ahead to 2026, things don't look any better. The incoming partnership with Ford introduces a whole new set of variables and potential pitfalls. So, Verstappen might just decide it's wiser to take a year off and see how things unfold under the new regulations before making his next big move. It might sound dramatic, Verstappen not on the 2026 grid, but think about it. If you're inside Red Bull and know the team is on shaky ground with development, and the 2026 regulation overhaul is a huge gamble, you'd at least consider your options. Aston Martin has already committed to their current engine setup, and Mercedes are operating on short-term contracts with their current lineup. Add to that Verstappen's interest in other racing series and the increasing demands of the F1 calendar, and a one-year hiatus doesn't sound that absurd. At this stage of his life and career, now a father, stepping back could allow Verstappen to recalibrate and assess what's truly best for him. But stepping away from F1 is not without its risks. Even for a superstar like Verstappen, returning after a break could prove challenging. Yet, we know Verstappen isn't fond of driving a car that's not competitive. That stings his pride and undermines his passion. That's where his exit clause becomes relevant. Reports suggest that if Verstappen is outside the top two in the driver's standings, or not among the top two at the summer break, he can invoke a clause to explore a move elsewhere. But there's a catch. The teams that seem most appealing, Mercedes and Aston Martin, may not have space for him, as both are prioritizing their existing lineups. This throws another wrench into Verstappen's plans. If Red Bull's development efforts fall flat, Verstappen's dissatisfaction is likely to roll over into the next era as well. This possibility was highlighted by F1 insider Andrew Benson from BBC Sport. He shared that one of the more intriguing whispers around the paddock is Verstappen potentially taking a sabbatical in 2026 to observe how the new regulations shake out before deciding where to go in 2027. According to Benson, the idea came from someone very close to Verstappen, completely unprompted. Whether it's mind games or not, it's a plausible scenario. Still, there's a strong belief within Red Bull's inner circle that Verstappen is not walking away anytime soon. Oliver Mintzlaff even flew to Saudi Arabia to address these swirling rumors and reinforce Red Bull's faith in their star driver. When questioned about the rumors of Max's departure, Mintzlaff made it clear, "We're all frustrated with the current situation, and nobody's trying to sugarcoat it. But I'm convinced Verstappen will continue the journey with us. He has a contract until 2028, and he's been very clear in the past. He started his career with Red Bull and intends to finish it here." There's also a mutual respect that can't be overlooked. Red Bull gave Verstappen the platform to win 4 world titles, an opportunity that may not have come if not for the team's resurgence with Honda and the design brilliance of Adrian Newey. But let's not forget, Verstappen's talent and tenacity also elevated Red Bull to where it is today. He's not short on confidence and knows exactly how valuable he is. So, if Toto Wolff were to see him suddenly available on the market, you can bet Mercedes would rethink their options, regardless of their current lineup. Sky Sports F1 pundit Martin Brundle even chimed in on the matter, saying, "If Max Verstappen were to hit the driver market, I think George Russell should be a little worried. Sure, Kimi, Antonelli is their long-term vision, but if Max becomes available, it changes everything. George has done well as team leader, but Toto already missed out on Verstappen once. It's hard to imagine he'd make the same mistake again. Verstappen's disdain for the incoming regulation changes is no secret either. He's been vocal about his dissatisfaction and even hinted at possible retirement or at least a break from the sport. If he were to step away, F1's popularity could take a hit. He's that influential. His absence could even pressure the FIA and FOM to rethink the new rules just to get him back in the car. On the flip side, not everyone is buying into the chaos. Internally, Red Bull maintains that all the outside speculation is just noise. A senior figure in the team recently stated that Max reaffirmed his commitment and that everyone's priority right now is making the car faster. That's the focus. Everything else is just rumors. According to them, there's no need to turn this into a media circus. The message is simple: fix the car, and the rest will follow. However, what deserves more attention are the discussions reportedly taking place between Verstappen's camp and George Russell. While it might seem like background chatter to many fans, credible sources like the race claim both parties are being pragmatic. They understand some situations may be out of their control, so they're staying ready for whatever twists come next. Verstappen might be realizing that no matter how much effort he pours into the team, if the car isn't up to scratch, his contribution can only go so far. As for Toto Wolff, his public comments have been carefully measured. While he insists Mercedes is happy with their current drivers and plans to extend them beyond 2026, he hasn't outright closed the door on Verstappen. Wolff even admitted, "We haven't had any concrete talks with George recently. Right now, everything is stable, and Russell is delivering exactly what we expect from him. There's no urgency. We'll revisit discussions during the European leg of the season." That said, Verstappen is undeniably the linchpin in this entire saga. His decisions could trigger a domino effect across the grid for the 2026 season. One factor that might push him toward the exit is Red Bull's outdated wind tunnel facilities. While a new one is under construction, Verstappen is famously impatient when it comes to long-term projects. He's been clear about his intentions. He's here to win, now. It's on Red Bull to match that urgency. If they fail to provide Verstappen with a race-winning machine, they shouldn't be surprised if he decides to walk away sooner rather than later. The question remains, will Red Bull lose Verstappen before 2026? And if so, where does that leave the team and the rest of the grid? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And after that, go ahead and check out the video currently showing on